I know this video is overdue, and you know where I'm gonna place the blame, right? The husband. This is my TBR for the month of August. Alright guys, hello, Jambo, Karibu, welcome to my channel. My name is Chilanda and this is Library Without Borders. As I mentioned previously, this video is obviously my long overdue TBR video for the month of August. It is gray outside, but it's daylight and we're gonna make it work. So wherever you are, I hope you're doing awesome and that you're having a great, fantastic weekend. I am, because it is my birthday month and I'm gonna make sure that I enjoy myself throughout this whole month. Anyways guys, so let's get to it. Let's get into the nitty gritty of what I will be reading for the month of August. You ready? So if you watched my previous video, I had mentioned that I wanted to unpack the books that I bought so that I could choose the next books that I will be reading for the month of August. And you know what? I only chose one book out of that pile of books, just one book. And ready for it? Here they are. Okay, so these are the physical books that I will be reading. Because I read 9 books in the month of July, I thought I'd be a hero again this month of August. And you know what? Add more books. And this is just the physical books, right? I'll be also reading one book on my Kindle. Have so many books that I need to read on my Kindle, but the lack of having a Kindle device and reading it on my phone is just not cute. So that's why I'm not really reading so many Kindle books, but I know I need to get to them because they're there. And I also have 2 Audible books that I will be listening to. One of the Audible that I'm listening to is actually one of the physical book that I have here. So let's go through them. All right, the first one is The Open House by Sam Carrington. I don't know much about it. I know on my channel I haven't done a lot of mystery or thrillers, so I was like, okay, maybe it's about time. One category of books that I will not get into, it is those paranormal stuff. Like I can't do that. Yeah, I'm a scary cat. Okay, so it says Nick and Amber Miller are splitting up and selling their family home. But despite the desirable location, the house isn't moving. Not a single viewing so far. When their estate agent suggests an open house event, Amber agrees, even as she worries about their gossiping neighbors attending and snooping around their home. But Amber has more to worry about than nosy neighbors, because 13 people enter her house that afternoon and only 12 leave. Oh, okay. Someone doesn't want the house to sell and is willing to do anything to stop it. So I hope this is like a thriller and not a horror, because I will put that down real quick. You hear me? Real quick. Okay, so we shall find out. Next, I have Noor by Nnedi Okorafor. It looks like it's probably fantasy. It is a fantasy book, I believe. Or science fiction, it says. Unwuli Okudili prefers to be called Ao. To her, these initials have always stood for artificial organism. Ao has never really felt natural, and that's putting it lightly. Her parents spent most of the days before she was born praying for her peaceful passing, because even in utero she was wrong, but she lived. Oh. And then came the car accident years later that disabled her even further. Yet instead of viewing her strange body the way the world views it, as freakish, unnatural, even the work of the devil, Ao embraces all that she is. A woman with a ton of major necessary body augmentations. Gosh, I can't talk. And then the only day she goes to her local market and everything goes wrong. Once on the run, she meets a Fulani herdsman named DNA, and the race against time across the desert of northern Nigeria begins. In a world where all things are streamed, everyone is watching the reckoning of the murderess and the terrorist and the saga of the wicked woman and mad men unfold. In this fast-paced, relentless journey of tribe, destiny, body, and the wonderland of technology revels in the fact that the future sometimes isn't so predictable. Okay, y'all feel something about this book? Because I dig it. I'm digging it. So I can't wait to dive in. Actually, I lied. You know how I said I only chose 2 books of that book on haul? I chose 2. So this is the first one, and as I mentioned, it is my first book by an author, and his name is Joshua Hershey, Linden Falls. Now, I know this book has a religious aspect to it. We're gonna give it a try. We're gonna read it, and then I will tell you what I think of this book. Mabel is a rumored witch whose kingdom belongs to Lavian, the serpent. Her people are enslaved in darkness, but everything changes when Mabel discovers a book that transports her to a world of angels and demons. She wields swords of fire and faces Tanin, a spirit-infested dragon. Mabel sets off to save her people, unaware that she'll find Eva along the way, that mystic lady thrown away in time, and in doing so find herself. Mabel even learns how to break the darkness, but Levian has different plans. Mabel wants to set her people free, make peace with her past, and start a new life. She wants to be a fighter and a protector of the ones she loved. When life becomes a curse, can Mabel end the darkness before destroying herself? We shall find out. And the book that I'm listening to and was part of the unboxing is The Girl with the Louding Voice by Advi Dari. Here's a little blurb of the book. Despite the seemingly insurmountable obstacles in her path, Aduni never loses sight of her goal escaping the life of poverty she was born into to build the future she chooses for herself and help other girls like her to do the same. Her spirited determination to find joy and hope in even the most difficult circumstances imaginable will break your heart and then put it back together again. Jenna Bush Hager on the Today Show as Aduni shows us how one courageous young girl can inspire us all to reach for our dreams and maybe even change the world. Truly, I believe that. Now, I can't wait to talk to you about this book because now I understand why it's important to listen to it, because when I start reading the lines and the English, I knew it would not have the same effect as the narrator who's actually reading this book, and her accent and her voice, her tone. She does a great, fabulous job of evoking the right emotions at the right time, right? So I think with the book, we would have missed those cues. So I suggest really picking up the book and listening to it. And I am laughing, but also crying. It's unbelievable, but it's so funny. Sad at the same time. So very fantastic. So next on my list, finally it's going down, we have Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. Now you guys know right now, today we're the 12th, so I have read some of these books. Like I said, I'm listening to the Louding books. I'm almost done. I finished reading this. I can't wait to share this with you guys. And when I started BookTube, I would watch other booktubers and learn the lingo of a booktube, such as what is a vlog, what is a book review, you know, all those aspects of what a booktuber should do. And one thing is mentioning the trigger warnings prior to talking about a book. So I have done that. But when I would do it, I didn't understand really what I was talking about. Like I knew, you know, you're supposed to kind of warn your audience so that, you know, they are careful whenever they pick up a book, you know, in case they are triggered. But I didn't understand until I got triggered myself. That's when I was like, Oh, I get it. So this book, Everything I Never Told You, is a book club pick. My book club pick. The ladies picked this book. We picked this book, okay? And I didn't know what I was getting to. I had never heard of this book. I think I've heard of the author. She wrote Every Little Fires Everywhere, something like that. But I finished this book, guys, in 2 days. And I was sobbing. When I say sobbing, sobbing. I understood what my trigger was with this book. It is already, like, the beginning of it is already like, boom. You know, there's no ins and buts, and it just starts with a brutal beginning. It really triggered me because there is talk of a kid dying, and I've read many books about death. I know, but maybe I feel that either I was in a weird state, but this book, it's something else. But it's a great read. Please, if you haven't picked it up, please pick it up. And if you read it, please leave a comment. Let me know what did you think of this story, because I can't wait to share with you guys when I will do the review of this book. Here's a little blurb. Lydia is dead, but they don't know this yet. So begins the story of this exquisite novel about a Chinese-American family living in the 1970s small town, Ohio. Lydia is the favorite child of Marilyn and James Lee, their middle daughter, a girl who inherited her mother's bright blue eyes and her father's jet black hair. Her parents are determined that Lydia will fulfill the dreams they were unable to pursue. In Marilyn's case, that her daughter become a doctor rather than a homemaker. In James's case, that Lydia be popular at school, a girl with a busy social life and the center of every party. When Lydia's body is found in the local lake, the delicate balancing act that has been keeping the Lee family together is destroyed, tumbling them into chaos. James, consumed by guilt, sets out on a reckless path that may destroy his marriage. Marilyn, devastated and vengeful, is determined to find a responsible party no matter what the cost. Lydia's older brother, Nathan, is certain that the neighborhood bad boy, Jack, is somehow involved. But it's the youngest of the family, Hannah, who observes far more than anyone realizes and who may be the only one who knows the truth about what happened. A profoundly moving story of family, history, and the meaning of home. Everything I Never Told You is both a gripping page-turner and a sensitive family portrait exploring the divisions between cultures and the rifts within a family, and uncovering the ways in which mothers and daughters, fathers and sons, and husbands and wives struggle all their lives to understand one another. Now, you see why I was triggered? Just that blurb right there. That's it. And the funny thing is, when I read the book, I didn't even read the blurb, or I would have been prepared. I just dived in because I was like, okay, the girls picked it up, let's go. And then I started reading this. As you can tell, it is Yinka, Where Is Your Husband? Now, this book, I think, was part of my January TBR. Yeah, that long ago. So finally, I decided to pick it up because, I don't know, these Nigerian authors, they be writing stories, and they're very captivating. Like, this one is so funny. It is absolutely hilarious. And just to imagine the accent, especially because I think it's a story set in London, England, or UK, and I can just imagine the English accent, and I'm laughing. I'm loving this story. Yinka's Nigerian aunties frequently pray for her delivery from singledom. Typical Africans. Her work friends think she's too traditional. Her girlfriends think she needs to get over her ex already. And the men in her life, well, that's a whole other story. But Yinka herself was always believed that true love will find her. And when her cousin Rachel gets engaged, Yinka commences Operation Wedding Date. Aided by a spreadsheet and her best friend, she's determined to succeed. Wry, acerbic, moving, Yinka, Where's Your Husband brilliantly subverts the traditional romantic comedy with an unconventional heroine and a love story that makes you smile, but also makes you think, and explores what it means to find your way between two cultures, both of which are yours. I am actually enjoying this book truly. And this is my first time reading the blurb as well. I don't know why I do that, not read the blurb. Next, I decided to read this big boy. Look at it. It is real. No, I'm not saying it is real. Like it is a real book, but I mean it's titled Real, right? Okay, get yeah, Real by Kennedy Ryan. Like, is she ever gonna come to Canada? Kennedy, if you're listening to this, can you please come to Ottawa precisely? I'd love to talk to you and shake your hand and be like, wow, what is your inspiration? How does your creative mind just start coming up with these stories? Because they're wonderful. Okay, let's find out what Real is about. For months, I stood by, an understudy waiting in the wings, preparing for my time to shine. I never imagined though he would watch in the audience that night. Famous film director, fascinating, talented, fine. Before I could catch my breath, everything changed. I went from backstage Broadway to center stage Hollywood, from being unknown to my name, Neva Saint, on everyone's lips. Canon cast me in a star-studded Harlem Renaissance biopic, catapulting me into another stratosphere. It says forbidden attraction, scandal, and circumstances beyond my control jeopardized my dream. This one shot, the role of a lifetime, the love of a lifetime cost me everything. If anybody can weave a story into something scandalous and dramatic, Kennedy Ryan is. She is the lady to do that. So I'm excited to discover this book. I heard so many booktubers talk about it. I think Lisa from Babe in the Library talked about this, and she said to prepare myself for tears, to cry. So I don't know. Lastly, on my physical TBR is The Perfumist of Paris. Now, I have the physical copy. The reason why it's part of my August TBR is simply because I started the trilogy already, and I've listened to two books in this trilogy on Audible, which I will do. I had bought this already a while ago, so I was like, but I hope to listen to it on Audible. It's Alka Joshi, The Perfumist. Paris. In 1974, Radha is now 32. Oh, it is the sister of, what's her name? Oh yes, I remember, Lakshmi, because she's actually the main character in both books so far. Yes, so Radha is her sister. She's now 32 and living in Paris with her husband, Pierre, and their two daughters. She still grieves for the baby boy she gave up years ago. Oh yeah, the little prince. When she was only a child herself, but she loves being a mother to her daughters, and she's finally found her passion, the treasure trove of scents. When her friend's grandfather offered her a job as his perfumery, she quickly discovered she had a talent. She could find the perfect fragrance for any customer who walked through the door. Now, 10 years later, she's working for a master perfumer, helping to design completely new fragrances for clients and building her career one scent at a time. She only wishes Pierre could understand her need to work. She feels his frustration, but she can't give up the thing that drives her. Tasked with her first major project, Radha travels to India. Ooh, she goes back home, where she enlists the help of her sister Lakshmi and the courtesans of Agra, women who use the power of fragrance to seduce, tease, and entice. Ooh, I love that. She's on the cusp of a breakthrough when she finds out the son she never told her husband about is heading to Paris to find her, upending her carefully managed world and threatening to destroy a vulnerable marriage. Oh, now I see how she's gonna end this trilogy with the boom, dramatic, and yeah, I am ready to end this trilogy on such a note. Yes. Now to the books I will be listening to, or more like reading on Kindle. So of course, as I said, it is my birthday month, and why not read a book about a birthday? So we have Melissa de la Cruz, the birthday girl, me. Let me find out what the story is about before I, but anyways, so Ellie de Florence Stinson is celebrating her 40th birthday. Not me, not today, girl. With a grand celebration in her fabulous house in Palm Springs. At 40, it appears Ellie has everything she ever wanted: a handsome husband, an accomplished college age stepdaughter, not yet. A beautiful 10-year-old girl, two adorable and rambunctious 6-year-old twin boys. Oh, she got 4 kids like me. Damn. Maybe this story is about me. Lush, well-appointed homes in Los Angeles, Park City, and Palm Springs. A thriving career, yeah, as a well-known fashion designer of casual women's wear and glamorous circle of friends. Except everything is not quite as perfect as it looks on the outside. Whoops. Ellie is keeping many secrets. This isn't the first of her birthday parties that hasn't gone as planned. Something happened on the night of her sweet 16th. Something she's tried hard to forget. But hiding the skeletons of her past comes at a cost. And all of Ellie's secrets come to light on the night of her fabulous birthday party in the desert, where everyone who matters in her family, in her life, shows up, invited or not. Old and new, friends and frenemies, stepdaughters and business partners, ex-wife and ex-husbands congregate, and the glittering facade of her life crumbles in one eventful night. Hopefully this is not gonna be my life, but okay. Beautifully paced and full of surprises, the birthday girl is an enthralling tale of a life lived in shadow and its unavoidable consequences. Yep. I see that I am going to do a vlog on my birthday weekend with this book. Sounds like a great idea, yeah? You're gonna be there with me? Okay, all right. Can't wait to read this book. I'm gonna keep this, as I said, for almost the end of the month, because yeah, my birthday's at the end of the month, believe it or not. I was almost a September baby. Thank God. There you have it, guys. The totality of the books I plan to read for the month of August. All right, guys, this is it for me. I will see you in my next video. So please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, of course, and share.